This is Victor Wembanyama's league already. Everything is on the table. Depoy, MIP. I'm just going to whisper this. MVP? Is that possible? Am I crazy? Tell me I'm crazy.
Yes,
You're crazy, man.
Yes.
You're
I
crazy.
do not want to be on the side of fading Victor Wembanyama under any circumstances, but MVP, that's a bridge too far, my friend.
Yeah, that'd be unprecedented, right? So I don't.
This is an unprecedented player.
You know what I would love for FanDuel, if you guys are listening, I would love to introduce a market for all NBA first, second, third team markets. Could Victor Wembanyama make all NBA first team? That's something maybe I consider.
Have you seen him stretch?
Oh, I have to minimum one.
You had me at
minimum
stretch.
one.
MVP,
minimum
everything.
one per pod. All right, you gotta throw it up there.
This is Basketball Island. Hein, Hambone, Wes, Fab. And yeah, MVP might be a little crazy, but Wes, we actually asked our friends at FanDuel for those first, second, third team All-NBA markets. Hopefully those are something that's there because, look, I know it's a little crazy saying MVP. If that were even to happen, the Spurs would probably have to be a 50-win team, which nobody thinks is going to happen. But if this guy is as generational as what we saw last year, what we saw at the Olympics, what he's projected to go. We were just in an auction draft last night. What did he go for? $82? Yeah. Like, anything is possible with this guy, and I think nothing can be taken off the table when talking about Wemby.
How do we make money on Wemby this year is the question that I'm asking myself constantly. I know there's a lot of special Wemby markets that we like. I mean, if you want, we can go over
I got a whole list of Wemby stuff. Yeah, let's get ready to
reel some off.
Okay, we got Wemby 6 triple-doubles. Plus 1,400.
Sweet mother.
Well, here's my favorite one. I got two. Here's my two favorite. Wemby 12 blocks in a game.
Love it.
Plus 900. It's bet down. That was 12-1 a week ago because money's coming in on it. Last year, 7 blocks 4 times, 9 block game, 10 block game.
Yeah.
Of course he's getting there.
Yeah.
You want to get real crazy? You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Wemby 25 rebounds in a game.
Love it.
He had 20 twice last year. These are huge numbers. It's like just put that cash all on those fun Wemby ones because when it happens, what was it last year? You had some Wemby bet that hit in like the first month that just seemed stupid that it was even offered.
6 blocks. I think it was 6 blocks in the game.
It was 7 blocks.
So you're essentially just saying sprinkle on all these long shot Wemby.
If this is a generational player who's going to completely revolutionize what the game of basketball is, then he is going to hit these marks and he's going to hit them in year 2.
What are these Spurs to make the playoffs? Because
not on the list.
No, not on the list.
Put the odds up. Put the odds up.
I mean, okay, if you want to start talking about MVP, MIP, DPOY, I mean, the natural progression would be the Spurs then being a playoff team or a play-in team at the very least.
Okay, so if you want to talk about how do you make money on Wemby, I think you look for more individual laden bets than team-based or team-anchored bets because the Spurs are not where they need to be right now to win. And that's why I have
have little faith in the point guard Chris Paul.
Yeah,
this is
I have very little.
This is the
39-year-old point guard.
Hey man, just like a fine wine, man. Chris Paul's going to be a Some would say I overpaid for him in our auction draft last night. Some would say I'm a genius. Chris Paul,
you're the only one saying you're a genius.
No one's saying
you're a genius. A wise man once said, "No, you're not. You're the wise man in this."
Chris Paul, though, this is the. Do you know how many easy buckets Wemby is going to get from Chris Paul? This is the perfect situation for him.
I've never seen anything like Wembanyama. He's minus money to win a season-long award.
Yes.
Minus 155.
Thank you for nuking that market. That was so good to us.
It was a lucrative
year.
market back in the day.
Yes, it was.
But you can now parlay awards.
This lovely parlaying future segment on FanDuel.
My suggestion is root all of your parlays to Wemby winning Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes.
Because if he plays 65 games, he's winning the award.
That is literally the only barrier to him winning this award. I think it's like universally accepted. He's already going to win.
But just literally, we talked about this before. The splits last year, Spurs defense, worst in the NBA when he's not on the court. Best in the NBA when he's on the court.
Was it top 5 or best?
Yeah, no, I think
I don't know if it was best.
It might have been. Yeah, it was top 3.
It was like an elite defense.
So just take that minus 155.
Yes, Hein math.
Hein math.
Full of holes.
You want to hear some Hein math? Take minus 155 and staple it to every other bet you're making. Because then it'll hit. Yeah. Take that Wemby Depoy and just staple it to
very reasonable.
I'm talking wins. I'm talking title bets. Everything.
And like again, I referenced this already. Have you seen the man stretch?
I knew it was coming. I knew
Hold
it
on,
was
Connor,
coming.
just appease
Connor,
Hambone.
roll the tape, bro.
Last week it was calves. Hey, wait, how are Wemby's calves? We got the stretch video up now. How do these calves look to you?
Man, the calves look big. They look strong. But to me, it's
Are they
more...
Grady Dick-esque, those calves?
Yes, they're obviously better than Grady's. But, dude, it's the hips. It's his ability to get low. Bro, he's not going to get hurt.
Hold on,
That's
and
the
this
thing.
is-
He's not going to get hurt. Everyone assumes he's going to get hurt because of how big he
No,
is.
but I'm going to pour gas on this
happening?
Hambone
Knock on
fire
wood.
right now.
What's
Knock on
happening
wood.
right
Knock on
now?
wood.
And I think the comp to look at, and let's go deep into the bag of historical comps here. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was around that same size. 7'4", whatever. He's listed 7'2". Kareem was 7'4". But Kareem was on top of all of this yoga and stretching stuff early. And this is a guy who had, arguably, before LeBron, he played at the highest peak for the longest time, better than anybody else. This is a guy who had a 20-year career at 7'4", who very rarely got hurt, and it's because of this yoga and stretching and stuff. Played a
Wemby
big part
is
of
like
it.
maniacal about it. Like his whole, like he's the most flexible, large person, flexible, large person I've ever seen.
Well, and also, I don't know.
I've ever seen.
I don't know why he's being labeled as an injury risk. When
Just
there's
the
really,
size.
there's
It's
really
just
nothing to
purely
suggest
yeah.
that, though,
Yeah,
right?
You look at him.
It's just track record of bigs and like previous history.
Big
That's
feet, lands awkwardly, like knock on wood, like a Liz Frank injury or
Yeah.
something like that. You just hope that
Yeah.
it's not the case. But to me, the DPOY thing, I mean, we've mentioned it ad nauseum. Attach that to any other bet you like. He's also the favorite to win MIP.
Yes,
I believe
he
at
is.
plus
That's a tough
650.
one. That's a tough one because
The first overall pick should not
What-
win
but if
that.
he makes the leaps-
but sophomores don't win the award.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's give this big caveat. And we learned this lesson last year, especially myself and Hambone, who felt a little robbed early in the year when we had Chet Rookie of the Year money.
Yeah.
All the this guy's got like Brian Windhorst is camped out in front of his house doing hits.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Yes, he is.
the
He's
media
breaking the game.
narrative.
Yeah,
and
he's
that's-
breaking the game.
That's super important when
Yeah.
it comes to awards. He's got the media machine behind
Yeah.
him.
Like if no one else pops for the MIP award, if Wemby just excels, goes up to like mid-20s in scoring.
Well, he's the favorite.
Yeah, so
I mean, he's the favorite to win it.
So like, what would it take?
Yeah.
Again, so we asked a similar question for quickly when we're talking about MIP markets for the Raptors players. What would it take for Wemby to win MIP? Would the Spurs have to finish 500? Is he voted in as an all-star?
They'd have to be better. His scoring
I-
would
at
have to
least-
go up dramatically.
I think the two things that would get them there. They make the play-in somehow, which would be crazy, which I don't think they're there.
But if he makes that leap, is it that crazy?
No, they're correlated for sure. But I'm saying him
If you
getting
like
to the
bet
play-in,
the
I think that's
Spurs.
I am going to bet the
Bet
Spurs.
their
I
win
will
total, then.
bet their wins. I will bet their wins.
yeah, that's a big part of it.
I will bet their wins. 35.5 seems very low. But if you're going to bet the wins, and whatever, I like 35.5. Wes, you're making a face, but okay.
I mean, their
I don't think
their
it's that
rotation
low.
stinks.
I don't
okay,
think
but,
it's
okay, but
that
hold on.
low.
Plus 230 play-in. I know the West is loaded. If Wemby is this generational player, you're telling me you can't get to a 10 seed in the West at plus 230? Come on, man.
Yeah, all right.
And if you want playoffs, because then he just has to win 2 one-offs. So then you might as well just bet playoffs at plus 360.
Bet it.
I will. And I'll
Bet it.
I like
all right,
that.
all right.
Bet it.
Yeah,
Bet
way
it.
to shame me. Oh no, I have to put my money on Wembanyama.
I actually agree with you. If you believe that Wemby is that dude,
Yes, then he
generational
does
talent,
this.
then he does this on his own. And I think I kind of like the roster. I'm not hating. If Devin Vassell gets back healthy,
Dude,
he really helps.
Castle
Castle's
is the
a good
perfect
rookie.
comp. Like,
It's interesting.
I think we're all, and whatever, say what you will about Chris Paul. I know I'm a guy I've always been a believer in Chris Paul.
I like Chris
This
Paul.
is the perfect guy for him, man. Like,
He's
Okay,
a floor raiser.
Chris Paul's hamstrings are made of jello.
sure.
At this point.
Hey, play Chris Paul.
Okay, fine. but if he's
25
gonna-
minutes a
Okay,
night.
but if he plays 40 games, he's not playing half the season.
He's a floor raiser, I think.
I know,
he
but
is.
how
Big
how
time.
healthy can... He's been banged up every year for years.
I would say his value not only lies on the court but off of
Yeah.
it. With when it comes to the
I don't
Spurs.
disagree. I'm just saying he's not going to be able to stay healthy. He hasn't been for a long time.
That is the question. That is the
You
question.
only need him to play like 20 to 25 minutes a night.
All right, you paid $10 from in fantasy.
All right.
Bid
You
high
wish
up.
you paid 11. All right. Fab, what's your big question heading into the season this year?
I have the biggest question, and the biggest
Wow.
question is, which star in the NBA has the most to prove this season? Would anyone like to start us off?
I mean, I got one.
Okay, go ahead.
Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Why is that?
Because the Bucks were bad last year. I thought Giannis was actually good, but there's a lot of like negative talk about Damian Lillard not coming in shape. The team looks pretty thin. I think he's like, we're kind of losing him in the shuffle here. Is he not a top 3 player in the NBA? Like, you don't mind
yeah.
Giannis
Well,
Antetokounmpo right now?
3 to 5.
Well, it's interesting
So
because
it's interesting. So you just said it to 5, but like most would consider him like a couple years ago, he was top 3
Well,
Okay, so
undisputed.
Jokic, Luka, and I think we put Shea in there.
Yeah.
And then he's probably that 4th guy.
Well, it's
Yeah.
interesting because Giannis 4 years ago unquestionably had the belt, right? Championship. I know it was a weird championship, but best player in the world. That star has fallen a little bit. Not to the point that he's not a top 5, but he's not number 1.
So, and I'm just going to pivot. This isn't my answer to the question, but I would think on that team, doesn't Lillard have more to prove than Giannis does? Because Giannis is going to be Giannis and do his thing, but that team's ceiling is more, it will be defined by what they get from Lillard.
I agree, but I think Giannis is the head of the snake, and he's been hurt in the first round of the playoffs a couple times now.
2 years in a row.
2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Bucks have not got past the first round. That's, to me, a team led by Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's not going to happen. So I think this year they go for 50-plus wins. I think that should be the goal for Milwaukee.
Easily
they need 50-plus, and he is, I think, a good bet for MVP at plus 850 on FanDuel. I love that bet. If you believe this is the Giannis comeback year, he had bad taste in his mouth from the last year's playoffs. He played very well for Greece in the summer. I think he has a lot to prove to reassert himself as a top 3 player in the league.
Well, look, the sun is setting on this team. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They're like, what, the second oldest team in the NBA? So the time is now. And you look at the type of game that Giannis has with each passing year.
Oh, yeah, the athleticism just
with that's the reality.
Yeah,
with each passing year, his impact on how he plays is going to be less and less. So I agree with you. He's got to get it done this year. Otherwise, you're going to start asking questions because there's been 2. It's not just one playoff. Yeah, it's 2 playoffs in a row. Let's not forget. 2 years ago, this is the guy who lost to your Miami Heat in the first round.
He's been hurt though, so like how much of that is the age catching up with the injury stuff?
Part of that is just like, at what point are people going to say like, I just don't care? Yeah. Just be out there.
Well, it's tough for him because he plays so insanely hard all season that I think he's going to have to dial it back slightly.
Man, Doc Rivers, do not run him to the ground.
Yeah.
I think be reasonable. I think if he can play 70 games, remain healthy, put up his he was averaging insane, like crazy stats last year.
He needs more help.
30-plus points.
He needs more help.
10-plus rebounds. Stocks across the board.
They're old though, man.
They're old, man. Like Gary Trent Jr., I'm hearing a lot of national media like give these flowers. Like we seen him play
$1 for him last night in the auction.
I mean,
not bad value.
Apparently he's 3-and-D.
Yeah,
I mean, half that equation is missing.
Raptor fans just laughing anytime they see that. But whatever. I think wasn't he catch and shoot threes? Wasn't he like top 5 in the NBA last year? Like he's cool. 3. Yeah. He's just not.
Well, you're asking him to guard the opponent team's best player. I think to me this is a lot of this on Doc Rivers. I feel hesitant betting on anything related to Doc, but we're here. Giannis MVP is a good bet.
Are you ready for my answer for your question, Fab?
Genius coming out. It's genius.
It is. Nikola Jokic.
Wow.
Jokic has the and I'm gonna quote Roy Jones Jr.'s rap song. Y'all must have forgot.
The best pound for pound fighter in the world. Whoever don't agree, you know what? I guess y'all must have forgot.
Let's go back to the second round last year when it's like, oh, this Denver team is clearly going to the finals. They're the only team that can kind of beat Boston. There hasn't been that many games have changed since that. Wes, you're just making a face again.
Oh, you want to know my face?
Hold on.
I'll let you finish. I'll give you my face in a second.
This guy, Jokic was Thanos in the Olympics, taking on the Avengers. We basically saw Endgame on a basketball court, and Thanos barely lost.
Yeah. Yep.
And people aren't talking about. I know Denver got a lot worse, and ultimately the MVPs don't matter. This is all going to come down to what he can do come playoff time. This is still the best player in the league, and people are talking like he no longer is because the sum of OKC's parts.
So you asked me what's my face. I think everyone on this table and most people would agree. Jokic is still the best player in the world. Yeah. So I don't think he has anything to prove.
I think
that's the question.
This table is a representative of 4 of the genius minds in the basketball space, whereas a lot of the other not a lot of people are talking about Jokic the same way they were last year before the playoffs started.
Hold on. I think Jamal Murray has more to prove than Jokic does. Murray,
you pulled the flip game. I did the same thing with Murray, with Lillard.
No, Murray is getting flamed. Yeah, he is getting flamed.
Kind of rightfully so. I mean, especially after what we saw in the Olympics.
He was a disaster at the Olympics. Yeah, not a great playoffs. He had moments. He had a couple buzzer beaters, but the body of work wasn't there as a whole. However, the guy still has a ring, man. Yeah, people are just. It's so. And what have you done for me lately?
Big game player. Even the Game 7 they lost to Mini. He lit it up in the first half of that game and then disappeared in the second half.
He was good in the Game 7.
He was great in the first half of that Game 7.
But the problem is Denver doesn't have a ton of flexibility. Yeah. They've committed a lot of money to Murray, a lot of money to MPJ. This is who they are.
Oh, yeah. Russ. Russ,
Yes.
get ready. I don't know. I'm ready. I'm here for the Russ revolution.
I'm not ready for Russ and Joker.
Why?
I mean, Joker wanted him.
Yeah, exactly.
Joker said, bring this guy in.
I think to me, the Jokic stuff's interesting. I don't think he's going to win MVP again.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't think he's ever going to win one.
He's not winning.
Because I think he's smart enough to not
I don't think
care.
Jokic will ever win an MVP again in his life.
Wow, I think there's voter fatigue is real with that. Yeah. So yes, I don't.
Well,
think he wins
Wes
MVP.
talked about this before. The NBA writers really hold that MVP and like the number very sacred of, well, if Jordan won this, player X can never win this many.
LeBron did this, like this other
He
player
won't
can't
win
do
it
that.
this year.
Like,
I don't think he cares though.
No,
also,
he
the other
shouldn't.
reason why I'm so strong on that, you look at the last 20 years of MVP winners, there's only been one winner that's above 30 years old. And let's see if everybody in the audience knows, there's only one dude, Steve Nash. That was 19 years ago. He was 31. So it just doesn't happen. MVP is a 20 to 29-year-old award, and Jokic is passing that barrier.
Yep.
I mean, the interesting thing, too, is they were a clear favorite in the West last year. Now, I mean, with more or less the same team, minus KCP, they're a 10-1 to win the championship. It's kind of interesting.
I love the 10-1. So I'm
sure
we're going to talk finals bets before. I have 3 title futures down already, and that's Boston, whatever the chalky pick. But then I also sprinkled on that 10-1 with Denver, and I sprinkled on Phoenix just because the number just looked too good. I know. It was small. It was small bet. But if Minnesota beat Denver last year because the large frame of Karl Anthony Towns did an excellent job defending Jokic. Whatever, hate on him. He played great D in that series, and he wore him down. Now, you're going to put Gobert up? He torches Gobert. Yeah. If those two teams were playing a series now, Denver smokes them because Towns is gone.
I think it all mattered. I think Minnesota had the ability to throw 3 guys at Jokic. And Towns got a lot of the credit for it, but I think to me, you can throw out 3
what was that? Was that
footers.
game 6 when Jokic had arguably the best first half in the history of basketball? That was all eating on Gobert.
And I can't believe I'm doing but what happened to him second half of game 7, dude?
Because Towns wore him down.
Okay, I know you love Cat.
Minnesota was built to beat Denver.
Yeah, Minnesota.
They were built
and now they no longer are.
I know, but there's other monsters in the West, right?
Okay, I know. Whatever. We'll get to OKC a little later, but like, who on OKC? I don't trust Hartenstein against Jokic. Like,
why not?
I mean, this is a conversation. This is a hypothetical if they meet in the playoffs, but you can make the argument OKC is probably better. I mean, after Jokic, what, 2 through 4?
Yeah.
2 through 5?
Oh, yeah.
It depends on how Murray plays, depends how Gordon
2
plays.
through 7, maybe.
They're a little more equipped. So we'll cross that.
So hold on. We need Wes has to answer the question. You had Murray with your.
Murray's good.
I mean, Murray's fine. That's good. Who do you got?
I think I'm going to steal yours.
Go for it.
Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
He's got everything on the line here. So I think there's 2 things that I think are really concerning for him. Number one, the playoff track record gets harped on every single year.
As it should.
As it should. So how many years before we just say this guy's just not a winner? Number one. Number 2, health.
This guy ignoring that gold medal that he just took home.
Yeah, he needed the Avengers.
Oh, wait, question.
Gold medal.
If Jokic is Thanos and they are the Avengers, which Avenger is Embiid?
Hawkeye.
Oh, come on. Yo, how you gonna do Hawkeye dirty like that, man? Jeremy Renner does not like that comp.
Look,
which Avenger is he?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I don't
have one
today, right? But talking about Embiid, and I'll let you build on it more. The health thing is also. He's got Nick Nurse, who's there for the Kawhi championship
baby.
year. Let's see if they manage him exactly the way they did Kawhi. He still has to prove in the playoffs. That's what I mean. I don't care what he does in the regular season anymore. This team is so well built around him.
It seems like he doesn't care what he does in the regular season anymore. He just said he's not playing back-to-backs, and he shouldn't.
He has proclaimed that. He's not going to play back-to-backs anymore.
So to his credit, he claims he's lost weight heading into camp, which he needed to do because he's always lumbering around.
Sorry, how many Octobers have we heard Embiid's coming into a season in the best shape of his life, and then we see what happens?
Listen, he says he's lost weight. Okay, we'll see what he looks like on the court.
I say that too. It doesn't mean it's true.
So are you saying? I don't know. Okay, well, I'm not going to say he's lying.
All I'm saying is this: he's now officially getting the Kawhi Leonard.
That one really hit for you, eh?
Got him.
He does say it a lot.
He's officially getting the Kawhi Leonard treatment. So there are expectations that come with that now. If you're going to get rested that way, load managed, you better bring it.
Man, call me in April.
Yeah,
exactly.
No,
that's exactly it. Which one?
The amount of stars who've made it past the second round besides Embiid is probably a scroll worth. Yeah. Okay, so
Trey Young.
You want to be considered one of the best players in the league? Yeah. You have to make it past the second round.
Yeah. Call me in April. Man.
That's it.
Call me in April. That's a good one.
All right. What's your question?
I don't even know if I had a question. My question was the Wemby one. I want to talk OKC. I don't have it formed in a question.
Okay, perfect. So let me steal that from you and I'll throw it right back to you.
Can you do it?
My question was just going to be, if not Boston, then who?
Perfect.
Because 83% of the GMs voted Boston's winning the title this year. We have not seen that type of consensus in a very long time. I think it was like the Warriors, the back-to-back Warriors. So if not Boston,
OKC.
Boom.
I think there's a lot of hype around OKC this year. I think there is a lot of hype. A ton of
with
hype.
good reason.
Yeah.
Good reason. I would lie if I say I wasn't worried. However, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I think to me is ready to take that next leap, if that's even possible. I think he finished second MVP voting last year.
He's second now in the odds too. Right?
I love him to win MVP. I agree with the.
You love Giannis too?
Love Giannis.
You love
and
both.
Shai. I think
so you're
both,
saying do a dual sprinkle.
dual sprinkle.
Well, but
Okay.
I think OKC will get the wins, and that's the important thing. You need a 1 or 2 seed to win that MVP, and that's where Shai will.
I think OKC can get the wins. I think Shai is going to take that leap. I think it's great value. If you believe in the Jokic voter fatigue, which I think we all do, Shai to me is the perfect candidate to win MVP. The fact that he was voted second last year, I think says a lot
already
too.
a big telltale.
But that was before any real playoff success.
Yep.
But they had a great series against Dallas last year that could have gone either way. I think they're poised to make the leap. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander MVP is my bet. And if you want to do OKC over wins, you want to do first in regular season.
I think
already bet them to win the West.
adjusted wins is the move with them
Yeah,
too.
well, bet him 60 plus.
and most wins in the league, I think, is a reasonable bet too.
Yeah.
That's
So
plus money.
I bet him to win the West.
for like 3 months.
To Wes's question though, I think this is to me is the fear with this NBA season is it's just like it's just Boston. I feel like
deservingly.
and I kind of talked about it before. I think Denver is an interesting sprinkle at 10-1. I don't think that I don't know, man. Like, are you really gonna bank on the Knicks to beat the Celtics? Like, I don't think we're there. I love Kat. I think Kat's a good fit.
Stay healthy.
I'm not ready to say the Knicks.
I would just say if anybody in the East has the equipment to match up against Boston, it's the Knicks. They just got to be healthy. They have to. But think about the guys they line up. Mikal, OG, all guys can line up well. They have a center who kind of like mirrors Porzingis. And then Jalen Brunson got that dog, right? Look at how that playoff series went against Philly last year when they were all banged up like that. They still put up a real good fight, right?
The Celtics are prohibitive favorites to win the East, as they should be. I think this year will be tougher because, I mean, the path was
Philly's
littered
better,
with
Knicks
gold.
are better. Yeah.
You know what pisses me off about Boston is that they're coming in motivated again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're coming in
why-
motivated. That's the hardest thing to
Why
do.
do they somehow have this chip on their shoulder?
know.
The
No one
Olympic
believed
stuff.
in us.
I know.
Olympic
I
stuff.
don't like
Jalen
it.
gets
Well,
left
and
off the
people
Olympic
kind
team.
of didn't. People even when they were winning the title, people were like, "Yeah, they're gonna win the title," but like, are they
They
that
kind
good?
of coasted all the way through. They didn't really face anyone.
With that said, they ran into a Mavericks team that was kind of happy to be there.
Yeah.
Probably
Oh, yeah.
shouldn't have been there. They are not going to
Depleted.
meet anyone in the finals this year that's as easy of an opponent. Whether it's OKC, Denver, maybe this new incarnation of Minnesota without Towns. Maybe it's Dallas again, who look more stout. They have more
the
shooting.
Lakers.
Hold on.
Was that for
Real
Hyde?
quick,
Was that
to-
for Hyde?
to Wes's Knicks.
Will the Lakers go back-to-back NBA Cups?
man.
That's my burning
Next
question.
question.
To Wes's point about the Knicks, if you are gonna wager on the Knicks or do a title Knicks bet, I have something for you.
Oh boy.
I've dubbed it the Apocalypse Parlay. Knicks to win the title, Leafs to win the Cup, Bills to win the Super Bowl.
Oh my
All
God.
three of them together, because if the Knicks are winning a title, all that other gonna happen,
Is that
and the
the
whole world's about to end. So
That's a retirement fund.
yeah, exactly.
That's a quit your day job kind of parlay.
I mean, to go back to the Celtics thing, I kind of like them this year in the regular season.
Yeah.
I think they'll still do their thing, even though they're missing Porzingis until the new year.
But-
Still think
but-
they're motivated.
But don't
man.
they slow down a little bit? Because
Yeah,
don't they take the foot off the pedal a little bit? Kind of like, do we really
maybe.
need to go hard here? Porzingis is already out.
I was just gonna clap back on you. I'd
Horford
rather-
is old. They don't want to run him into the ground.
I'd rather take a playoff bet on Boston than a regular season.
Really? Really?
They don't have Porzingis for 3 months.
What
What are they
about-
gonna throw
what
out there?
maybe
Luke
longer.
Cornett?
Peyton Pritchard, man.
Luke
No, they
Cornett
have-
out there?
no, they have-
they have depth in
They have
guys.
the depth to mitigate it. It
They have
just
depth.
I don't think they have to go all out in this regular
They're
season.
not like, you don't think they're coasting to a 1 seed in the East.
Well, not even that. You're
No,
probably
I
gonna.
don't think it's gonna. I don't think
I don't
they're
think
gonna
they're
coast.
gonna
I mean, there's enough.
think they're
I think there's
Will
a,
they get it comfortable?
They will. I think they'll win it, but I don't.
Okay.
I don't think there's going to be no resistance.
But like, is Boston a team that is going to get to say 2012 or 2013 Heat levels or like 2017 Warriors levels where they're like even money? Like the number you're getting
not-
right
they're
now.
not- they're not that
And that's what I'm
level.
saying.
Come
So
on.
like the number you're getting right now. To Wes's point, you can probably get a better Boston number a little later in the year.
Yeah.
Like, what are they right now, FanDuel? Plus 300?
yeah, it's
like
like
that's
just the
plus
value's
320.
really not.
So, like, what are you
not
doing?
there.
You're basically like, okay, I'm going to wait it out and hope no one gets injured. Whereas maybe the Knicks come out of the gate fire, and maybe
Yeah.
there's like other teams, like
Yeah.
OKC. starts 20-2, and it's like,
not
oh,
a number you have to rush into.
Exactly.
But they have, I think, the best runway to repeat since the Warriors.
Yeah. I don't think anybody disagrees.
They have the best way to do that. It's been a while since that's happened, so I think they're kind of poised. Listen, man, I hate Boston.
Oh, we all do. We're Toronto. This is the Toronto pod. This is the Toronto pod.
It's just anyone who's like a real person. Like, you should hate Boston. Like all the media people who simp for Boston too. Like, I want bad things to happen to Boston, but I hate how motivated they are coming into the season.
They should have no fuel.
Tatum gets benched in the Olympics. You're giving these guys incentive to be great this year again.
The Tatum stuff this summer with the bench, I got so tired of hearing about Jason Tatum. I don't want to hear about this guy anymore.
Okay, and I also don't like the Jaylen Brown snub thing. Well, it's your teammate, Derek White, who took the spot. So you're going to take it out on him? Like, who are you getting mad at,
It's weird, man. It's weird.
Let's finish with our final burning question. And it's a question I ask a lot. How does this parlay lose? Wes, what do we got? We're going to the futures parlay section.
Look,
we cooked this up in the lab earlier today.
Everything we talked about today, it's on here. We got Victor Wembanyama, DPOY. That's a lock if he plays 65. We got Boston, unfortunately, to win the title. And then the longest leg of this, we're going to live with CanCon, okay? We're going to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander get his first MVP. Those four together pays just over 30.
Now, if you also want to take...
Three together.
Unless no. The fourth you want to add, if we're going to keep the CanCon stuff going. I mean, I don't know if we're going to... Zach Edey?
Nah, the number's too low.
Too low now.
Hold on. Okay, but he's the favorite to win Rookie of the Year. Then that number has dipped
CLV 14-1, 11-1, whatever number you have.
Is nuts.
At where it is right now, below 3-1 is a little crazy.
Do you want to talk about Rookie of the Year quickly, Edey? Heavy favorite.
Dude, it's insane to me.
I just don't know how you bet it at that number.
Oh, it's too late now.
It's too late. You missed the window.
This sucks for us to be on a pod to say that. You missed the window. It's gone.
You did miss the window.
Edey was at 1.14-1. He's now 3-1.
But if you want to bet it still, why not attach it to Wemby DPOY?
Yeah, no, you're right.
There are ways to bet that.
But I'm also...
Do Edey with Shai, do a little CanCon, sprinkle RJ Barrett to win MIP. I know this is just thing. So we go everywhere with this. It's a good feature.
I will say though, to our original parlay, I think if you lose, I don't feel as strongly about Shai MVP.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm going to do a little. I think you get it at plus 590, and it's basically just Wemby Depoy Celtics title. Like getting almost 6-1 at that. That seems pretty good. Like
I'll bet that.
Yeah, I will make that bet, and then
I would say with the Shai, I mean, I would almost do two alternate ones where you swap Luka in. And we didn't really talk about Luka, but
hold on,
is he not going to have everything going in his favor to win the MVP this year?
He's favored every year to win it. He's favored every year.
And Hambone, I'll ask you this question: How many wins do the Mavs need for Luka to win MVP?
54.
Or what seed? Okay. So
55.
Would you rather bet Luka MVP at plus 330 or Mavs adjusted wins 55 wins at plus 305?
I think the West is a gauntlet. I would rather bet Luka.
No, what at plus you're
no. Yes, because this is how
you need a top 2 seed.
Better odds.
No. So there you go. What says 55 is even needed to be a top 3 seed?
It always is.
But this year it's so tight.
And every year the West is loaded.
Okay. So are the Mavs finishing ahead of OKC? Probably not. Are they finishing ahead of Minnesota?
I'm just saying if he's going to win MVP,
maybe.
If he's going to win MVP, they're going to need 55 wins anyways. So I would rather bank on if they get 55 wins and then OKC gets 62 wins and Shai gets MVP. I would rather get.
But see, I disagree though.
Yeah,
I disagree.
I disagree as well.
I think if Dallas hits 50 wins, they might give him MVP.
Yeah,
I really do. I think
50?
he's built up so
I don't
much
think 50's
stock.
enough.
That finals run and the fact that he's been in the mix every year, they get to 50 wins, they're the 4 seed. You're telling me they're not going to give Luka the MVP
but the
for that?
MVPs don't go to 4 seeds traditionally. I think it's only happened 5 times in history that it's been.
Yeah, so
50
the
feels like
Russell
a magic
Westbrook
number.
My whole point
But
is,
didn't they win 50 last year and he had the same numbers?
It might not be the absolute number of wins. They got to be a top 3 seed. I think that's what it is. And
who are they climbing over?
There you go. So it's a competitive. A lot of things can happen. It's an 82 game
their team is better. Their team is a lot better
Much
this
better,
year. I just think that man, that guy comes in as the favorite almost every year. It's like, I don't know if there's value on him there. I think he did make his statement last year, but he also wilted physically down the stretch.
Well, I mean, Fab made this point. You build a lot of equity making a finals appearance.
Yeah.
So
you do.
he's got that going for him. He's proven he was the best offensive player in that series.
And historically, it's just been Dallas has not got the wins. So again, but this year it's a tall task this year. I know you're big on Houston wins this year as well. You don't want to give that one out?
No, we're good.
The West is a gauntlet, man. The West is just an absolute gauntlet. And if OKC's winning 60+, I don't know how you don't give it
hard.
to Shea.
It's going to be hard to snub Shea. If his numbers stay the same or slightly improve and they win 60 games,
look, I think he should be the favorite. I think we all think they're a 60-win team. So if they're a 60-win team and the 1 seed, how does he not win MVP?
That's why you bet original parlay.
Yes, the all Canadian parlay.
That's why I love Shea. I think to me, like, he should be the favorite in my opinion. Like,
I think he should be the favorite too.
There you go.
When things were melting down for Canada in the Olympics, he showed up. He showed up. Might be the only guy.
Shea's an alpha, man.
Before we go, I just want to rapid fire some value to our loyal fans, and that's Harden plus 900 to lead assists. Pacers to win the Central plus 270. Gobert to lead the league in boards at plus 500. Harden 9-1.
James
lead
Harden.
the league in assists. Also, I know this goes back to that wicked FanDuel section where you can parlay the. You can get, and Wes kind of chirped this before, by like 0.6 dimes. You can go Harden 20 points, Harden 10 dimes. I think that pays, like, what did I say? It was like 3-1 or something like that?
I think I'm not investing any money.
Why? Harden's going to feast. You only need to play one game for those average bets on FanDuel. One game.
So, like, true?
Yes, when Kawhi misses all those games, Harden already told us. Harden's going to feast. What did he say at Media Day? I see what Luka's doing, and that's me.
When someone tells you who they are, just believe them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's what James Harden's doing.
Yeah, what's changing for the Clippers this year? Me.
So, and then real quick, Gobert 5-1 lead league in boards. Last year without Towns, I think he averaged 14.7 a game, led the league in rebounds.
It's a competitive one. You got Sabonis in there. You have Joker in there.
You got Wemby in there. Jalen Duren as a flyer, too.
Jokic, clutch player of the year.
That's a good one.
So.
All right, give us a couple rapid fires. Wes is like, my brain doesn't compute the value. I have no long shots.
Jokic 25-1's mine. I like Udoka plus 850 coach of the year.
I like that.
I like Spoelstra coach of the year.
Deserves it.
Shocker.
I did parlay Oklahoma City to win division with Suns to win division.
Yeah.
That was around 4.5 to 1.
I like the Suns win total. Another team we didn't even mention.
It's a lot of,
Dude, the West is a gauntlet.
Well, we're going to have to talk about this throughout the year. We'll revisit some of these futures.
The Suns, three guys, big three, played like what, a total of like 320 minutes together last year?
20-1 to win title. I know, whatever. But 20-1 to win title is just crazy with Phoenix.
Suns are deep, man. Tyus Jones and Mason Plumlee for nothing?
Yes.
That's good.
All right. That's all for us today. And remember, if you want to give us a listen instead of watch us on YouTube, check us out, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts.